Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Wednesday, February the 5th, 6:04 p.m. Thank you to everybody that's live, about 30 people live right now. Thank you for your support. My name is Luis Carlos Pineda. I'm here with John Rollins. We're going to be your hosts today on an exciting kind of fast-paced episode today. We really weren't supposed to be on today, but obviously the club likes to hit us with news when we least expect. And he became official. Super Marco PASALIC is the new designated player for Orlando City. An exciting signing for sure for the City Beautiful. A kid with a lot of things to prove, with a lot of people to kind of shush. He comes to the MLS with just to be that workhorse that Orlando needs, that DP that Orlando's been yearning since Facundo left, and to prove a lot of haters wrong too. People that doubted him, people that think that the MLS is not good enough. He's here to definitely make a statement. He spoke to media today. We'll have the footage, the expectations. Leave us your comments. We would like to know, what do you think about this signing? And what are your expectations for Marco Pasalic? I'm here with John. John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
What's up, man? How you doing? It's a Wednesday, right? Like we ever record on a Wednesday? This is
No,
weird. Live
first time.
live pod. We said on Monday, like, hey, there might be some news coming in soon. And then when we saw the little teaser this morning from the club, they did the little I don't know what they like little like jam treat thingies.
Yeah.
They're like what shopping Croatian style. I don't really get that, but maybe I need to do some research on Croatian foods and then I'll understand. But they dropped a little hint then, and we said, "Yo, it makes sense for us to do a pod tonight because I think this news is coming, and it is official." Marco Pasalic. Really excited, man. Happy to hear everybody's thoughts. I really want you guys to drop in the comments, what you think about this signing. I think it's mixed feelings for different people. I've been listening to a lot of the other talking heads around the league today and yesterday, Luis, to try and get their league wide opinions. Where do you stand on our new DP, Marco Pasalic?
Well, I mean, a lot of people already, and I've seen it too. Some people are very happy, very positive. Some other people are just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're because they're season ticket holders, but like they feel that we're supposed to be like just like Charlotte and Atlanta, and they don't understand it's just different markets and just different way to go about it. And there was an interesting interview that Ricardo did with a Brazilian outlet about the MLS, which kind of highlights how Orlando is going to certainly sign their players. He pretty much said it would have been a disgrace if if Inter would have won the league, because it kind of undermines the growth of the MLS, because a bunch of old folks from a retirement home just beat a bunch of young guys. It should be the other way around. It should cost them to win the league, and it did. So in a way, the growth of the MLS is intact, and I think that's the way that we're thinking. We're forward thinking this. Marco Pasalic is exactly the type of player that fits Orlando, and the reason why to me is it was probably not as expensive as everybody thinks it was. Numbers are being thrown everywhere. The club only knows how much it costs. Um, Also, it's a player that has a lot to prove, which matches in personality with Ivan, which he has a new nickname. His name is Ivancho now. He's not the Ivancho, apparently is his nickname. Ivan, Martin, Ramiro, Duncan. These are people that are fighters. These are people that have a chip on their shoulder and they want to prove people wrong. So Marco fits that mold because of what he's accomplished or what he has not accomplished for a lot of people in Europe. He has unfinished business. So he comes very gung ho to succeed and to listen to Oscar. So he's a very coachable player, which we've surrounded ourselves with coachable players because of Oscar and the different positions those players may have, like Dagger Dan, like even the jack of all trades of Orlando City, Mr. Kyle Smith, that could play every position. Essentially, he could even play striker, if you wanted to put, So I think he fits Orlando's culture, and I think it's a great signing, a signing with a lot of upside. Yes, it's not your most name recognizable you know player, but indeed it's somebody that's going to come and try to make an immediate impact, which we haven't really seen since maybe the way Daryl Dika came about, the way Kyle Laring came about. This kids came from the draft more than anything. Duncan McGuire came from the draft, making immediate impact. But when it came to signings, we haven't seen like the Christian Higuita's immediate impacts. If you remember Christian Higuita, Joshi Yotun, um, Nani, these are players that came to make, and as soon as they put purple on, they were some of the best players in the squad. And I feel like that's where Marco's going to gear towards. How do you see it, John, now that you have this up?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I'll say the reason I asked you that question is just because I think some people, and I'm not one of these people. I'm gonna state the other argument. The other argument is that people say that it's not like, oh, it's not a big flashy signing, right? I think a lot of people were hoping if Faku left, we are gonna go out and get a big flashy sort of Kaká Nani level signing for like 10, 15. Everyone was getting excited about Evander, so I think some people see this and they're not as excited, and they're not as like, they don't know this name perhaps, or they're just not like, whoa, who is this guy? But, and his numbers, Luis, don't jump off the page at you. But I'm with you. I really think, and listening to other opinions around the league, like the likes of, Tom Boga and David Gass and other people that I've heard talking about him are all like, yeah, this is a really good pickup. He is a player that is, and I think, and Muzi really states it perfect here, his desire to take on defenders and ability to be consistent threat on goal is exactly what we've been looking to add during this transfer window. The guy is very much like, he is that kind of player where he is like, head down, I'm going for it, I'm all in. The fact that he also talks about the fact that he is a constant desire to win that is infectious. In the little video, you hear him talking about, oh, I won before and I want to win here. I think that he does have that mentality of a big star. He might not be a name that everybody knows, but I think he definitely has that kind of star mentality to the way that he plays and also like how he is. But not only that, he seems to be a fairly humble guy and someone that you said, Louise, that's going to work in our group and what we're trying to get here. We don't want to bring in somebody who is going to be a real diva, like we talked about before, and is going to, cause us a bunch of problems. So there's a balance about finding someone that is, confident and a little bit cocky and a little bit, they think they're it, but they also have to be a team player. They also have to listen to the coaches. They also have to track back and defend. And the other thing is we're not talking about the fact that this guy is literally was on the Euro Croatian national team. The Croatian national team is one of the better national
European
teams in
teams.
Europe. If you look at their history, they have been on, they've been to like semifinals or finals of World Cups in last, and also in the Euros
My
over the
favorite player.
last like 20 years. So they've been a very good team in Europe. And he played for them in 2024. Yeah, he's only had 5 caps, but he's shown enough at a young age of only 24 years old to get into that team, and that is not a national team to laugh at all. I don't have to look up their ranking, but I know they're fairly high ranked in Europe.
Yeah, I mean
So,
there's
go ahead.
yeah, I mean there's so many Croatians
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
really good,
yeah, for
and
sure.
for
I mean,
him
it's
to make
hard,
it
but
to
the
the
fact that he's got an option, I mean, that's
yeah,
not an easy national team to get into at all. So I think there's a lot of upside. I think when you watch the way he plays, he's an exciting player to watch in the fact that like Muzi says, he wants to take guys on. He's trying to shoot from far out. All the comments I've seen, and this is something I wanted to show you, Luis, is a great video here. This one from his old club. I can say it right. Rexia. Can we say that right? It is HNK Rexia.
I
In
guess I call
I
it
don't know. I'm
Rijeka.
probably butchering that, but this is. I apologies if you're watching and you're like, "What are they saying?" This is in Croatia, and this is his old club, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. They kind of put like a video together of his time.
Here you go.
Pasalic. Pasalic! Pasalic! Burada Pasalic, Pasalic i Pasalic! I ovo je čudesan pogodak Pasalića. Ivković ne razmišlja o udarcu. Pasalic!
I ide to u gol!
He's got incredible left foot, Luis, and that's all
Yeah.
I keep seeing.
He
The
said-
comments
he said it.
from all
He's
the
a-
fans who are like, "Oh no, look after him! Amazing left foot."
Yeah, he said my left foot is my weapon.
Yeah, and the shots from distance. I know a lot of people have been asking for shots from distance. He's a guy who wants to do that. He's great on the dead ball. He definitely looks like he can take a mean left, free kick. So, yeah.
The cool thing
mean-
is what you mentioned when you mentioned he's not afraid to take players on because
hmm
Orlando does everything great in the attacking third, but it seems that missing link was being afraid of taking even the hit, because sometimes you have to take the hit or the shot, or take a player on. And I think with him and also with Nico Rodriguez right behind him, I think we gain a lot. We gain a lot of both worlds in a way. We get more of like a Facu-esque with Nico, and we get more of like a straightforward winger, European style winger
Yeah.
with Pasalic. Now, people are kind of sleeping on this, but he's the brother of Mario Pasalic from Atalanta,
Mhm.
former Chelsea player. So you never know. He may be doing so great. Maybe doing some great, in the MLS, taking the MLS by storm. No, the MLS slept on him, and then maybe there's a brotherly reunion in Central Florida. Who knows? He's a really great midfielder. Also in the Croatian national team. So, I mean, the connections are right there. I just feel like he's a phenomenal pickup. Let's read some comments real quick. I don't know if you don't mind. There,
Yeah,
John.
please read some comments.
All right, let's do. Let's see here. Oh man, that's a lot. This is Joe LPO Vamos Orlando. This is Air Vega. Welcome to Orlando, Marco, Donnie Moore. Thank you so much. I like the intro. Appreciate it. Pasalic is a lion. Pasalic is here. Says Joshua Tall. Thank you so much. Louis wearing the history jersey. Thank you so much. Yep. Not the best teaser. LOL. I believe he's going to be a great addition to the team. Cost-wise, I think it's very strong, says Banjo. I'm excited to see him play. I watch him play with Dortmund too, says Jamie Whitmore. Thank you so much, Jamie. Alex Yu, Pasalic is an excellent signing. His brother Mario is playing in Italy with Atalanta. Yep. Nani from day one, says Donnie Moore. Hard to argue. Talent level upgraded yet. Pretty obvious Faco is better than Marco. Well, obviously, right now, I mean, Faco is our top goal scorer in history of Orlando City, so it's hard to kind of get him off that pedestal right now. But we got to move on, right? I mean, it's just part of the business. Now we're in Team Marco. David Albury, buenas noches, guys. Good signing. Thank you so much. Hoping there will be a second and third move we can all get excited about, says Donnie Moore. Thank you so much. Yep, I agree with you, and we'll talk about that in just a moment because I have some news. Daniel Cluley. Thank you so much, Daniel. Hey guys, looking at his stats doesn't look awesome, but watching his film skill set here and what other people watch him live say, sounds like a good player. Says, yeah, yeah, stats are not everything, but they're important. But I think if you look at Ivan Angulo's stats, like he had like what 150 minutes, like one pass in 30 games. You know what I mean? So and look what he can do for the team. Reminds me kind of like a Johnny Russell, which makes me ecstatic, says Daniel. Yep, it could be. The crew let Cucho Ramirez go with the start of the season around the corner. OCSC has had the time to find replacement for Torres, and I feel they did that, says Jamie Whitmore. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Cucho went to Betis, a big team in Spain, and Ramirez went to the Galaxy, which is crazy. Not interesting. Boris, excited about Pasalic. Thank you, Lewis and John, for your excellent preseason coverage, says Mr. Boris Buckhorn. Thank you so much, Mr. Buckhorn. Appreciate it. Looks like he has more of a powerful left than Facu. I like the fact that he's more straightforward. I don't know. He just seems more of like. I mean, it sounds so, this comparison's gonna be so wrong. But kind of like a more of like a taller Marco Royce, like a more built Marco Royce.
Yeah, no, I think the way that he runs is a similar. He has a similar gait to the way that Marco Reus runs and the way that he acts. Yeah, I can see that.
It says Daniel says he's not just putting shots on at goal, he's placing shots in specific spots and goal away from the goalkeeper or blocker, sometimes with bent and with pace. I was shocked when John Yelich says, there you go. Air Vega. Thank you guys. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying, why haven't we got a better signing or a better, more name recognizable? Atlanta spending like what 45 million on 3 signings. Why can't we do the same thing? So
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the money, that's why I kind of put it up here. I mean, this is not confirmed in any way. This is just what like Transfermarkt has up, and they only get theirs from like is reported on different things. Basically they just pull it from articles on the internet. So somewhere someone has wrote that it's 4.8, million euros. If that is right, or if it's somewhere around that
that
figure,
seems like a Orlando City signing.
yeah, for sure. It seems like the kind of price we would love to pay for a winger, a replacement, what we kind of do. But
I mean, we
also, if you look at if he brings up really good numbers, if he produces more than Facu, if he, makes a real statement this year in his first season and ends up being one of the better, if he's an MLS MVP candidate or something like that, let's say, for
steal.
that price, if you look at what other other clubs around the league are buying, right, and what they're buying and what they're spending, it would be an absolute steal. I love that Almiron has come back to Atlanta, and I think that's
I
a
would
very
have not
cool
paid 12 million.
story. But they paid 10 to 12 million for a 30-year-old who is very injury prone, and as good as he is, he might not play. He might not get many goals. It might be a big flop, and you've spent 12 million. So this also, hey, it could be a flop here with Pasalic. I don't think it will be. Knock on wood, it isn't. But if you look at the amount of money put up on risk, there's fairly low risk here for us and major upside. And that's like we've said all along, Luis. That's something that Orlando City love to do.
Yep.
That's what right now we've seen from Muzi and Ricardo is the thing that they like to do the most is buy guys in that have fallen through the gaps. And this is a great one that, I don't know why Dortmund never really brought him up, right? He was in the Dortmund too. They let him go on a free. They've just got so much talent in Dortmund too, I guess. So they were like, we can let this guy go. And then he's played 2 seasons in Croatia, and his stats, like we talked about, weren't incredible. He did okay. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists in this year so far out of 19 games. And in 2023-24, he played 30 games, had 6 goals and 4 assists. So the stats aren't incredible, but really, like we've said before, when you're looking at this guy and the way that he plays, and I think when you put him in our team with the other pieces, he's going to be that Facu replacement, and then potentially more in what he can do in his role from the right wing position.
Yeah, talking about what you're saying about the type of signings Orlando makes, it is completely true. I mean, low cost, high reward. If right now, let's say we are shopping for Angulo, we got him off a loan. Number one, loan to buy, and right now he's probably worth like what, 3 million or a little more than that. And so we're gonna not only recoup our investment, but it's gonna be for us a better investment to do that. Same with Galese. Look, Galese came and he started when he first came from Mexico. He was getting paid around 400,000, not even. And look how it has paid out for Orlando. And obviously Peru is not a big market either. It's not Croatia, that's for sure. It's not Germany. It's not even Colombia. You know what I mean? So it's a small marketed team. Nobody know who Galese was. And look, so Orlando has these things that they do. Now, I do want to add from a club source. I do want to say this. I communicated with a club source and mentioned this to me. More to come. More signings to come. Gotta be patient. Again, I repeat, more to come. Gotta be patient. Because of the great sale of Facu, every club wants us to overpay. I repeat, because of the great sale of Facu Torres, every other club wants us to overpay. It's a difficult window, but a possible one. More to come. Gotta be patient. Again, the window ends April 21st or April 23rd, I believe. Now, obviously, Pasalic, Nico, all those new guys obviously are not in preseason, and people are going to say, "Oh, they're not in preseason." Well, obviously, you're in nowhere in preseason because of the MLS schedule. You're going to get your full squad to start preseason. It's just impossible. Maybe with the schedule change, that may change. But I mean, this is really good. It's from a club source that knows what he's talking about, and or what she's talking about, and more to come. Gotta be patient, guys. And everybody, that's why the whole Atuesta situation thing. I mean, people know that we just got all this money. Palmeiras knows they got all this money from us. You know what I mean? Every club now is trying to be like, okay, how much you want to pay Orlando? You just got all these money in the bank. Give me some of that. You know what I mean? So they're trying to make them more conscious. Just what John said, yeah, not every signing is gonna pan out the way you want it to be. Look at Urgent Kara. Even though Urgent Kara scored a couple really good goals, I will have to say, but Urgent Kara people don't like, and what's his name? Same with Muriel, right? But Muriel was a $3 million burner, right, John? Was it 3 million?
I mean,
It
yeah,
was. It
a
wasn't. It
lot.
was
We didn't spend any transfer fee, but it's the wages are a lot.
right. Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't a $12 million investment.
No. I mean,
For sure.
I don't think we've ever had a really bad, huge investment for this club.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had wages on free players, and we've had a lot of disappointing guys like Van de Voorde, right? They came in and just
Van der
didn't do
Water.
it.
That's
Yeah,
another
like
one.
didn't do anything, and we're just but we spend like 800K on a guy like that. It wasn't insane money. I'd have to think about who the biggest loss we've had, but Muriel in wages is definitely I'd say right now.
Yeah. It's the biggest
Um,
loss.
yeah, I mean, I really hope he can turn it around this year
Correct. I
because
agree too.
I feel like, if we do bring in Atuesta, that's another Colombian on top of Rodriguez, on top of Angulo, and there's just so much of that vibe there. And I feel like if he can be that leader and show a lot more than he did last season, then I think he definitely would be a good asset. But whether he's ever going to be able to get to being worth the wages he's on is a far shout, I think.
Yeah. So obviously there's going to be more to come according to club sources. Um, I do want to say that again, this is they're going to make the best decision. Like if you take away what everyone else is doing in the MLS, if you just focus on Orlando City, which is truly what we should be focusing on, truly what we should be focusing on. If you take away what Charlotte's doing, if you take away what Atlanta's doing, if you take away what the Galaxy are doing, don't compare yourself. But if you take away that and you focus on Orlando, yes, there's been some errors, probably some botches. I mean, just like in every job, when you do a job, there's going to be some successes and some failures. And now I wouldn't consider a failure, a major failure. I think right now Muriel's form probably is a failure, right? Like we hope that it gets better, but it happens. But if you put in balance how many successes in signings and how many botches Orlando has had, starting from when Musi and Moreira took over and when Papi was in charge, there are less botches and more success stories. Starting from starting from the backbone of the entire team, Rodri, Pedro, the entrance of Daggerden Thorhausen, the Kyle Smith being the jack of all trades. He called him the best the best player I've ever coached in my entire career. That's what Oscar said. You have a young kid like Luca Petrassa coming. Then you had that actually worked. It worked until he didn't get any minutes. Ivan Angulo's arrival, so you Wilder, Cesar, the scouting of Cesar, where he came from. People didn't know who Cesar was. So there's been a lot of more successes based on the core of the team than failures. I don't know if I made myself clear. I don't know if you agree with that, John, but I feel like I think the club is saying there's more to come, and I have faith. I have faith, of positive faith. Of
Yeah,
what's to
I
come.
mean, like you said, we know that we have the money, and everyone knows we have the money, and it's just a case of we can't do the like, oh, we're a poor little Orlando City and we don't have money. We can't play that card because they know we have the money. But with Palmeiras, I think specifically, I don't think he's just referring to Eduardo Atuesta, but I do think that they are right now in the throes of that and trying to figure out, the wages and everything else. So that's one. But then after that, even getting in the rest of the roster spots and filling out where we feel like we still need perhaps a left back or another D mid or a striker. We're still going to have that with every club that knows that we sold Faki for so much money and that we've got money. It's just the way of the world in soccer transfers. So I definitely feel like we have to be patient. That's what we've been saying all along, Luis. I think this now kind of really helps settle a lot of people that we've got this big DP signing over the line. I think that's one that everybody's always like, what are we doing? What's happening? But you just got to have a little bit of faith, and you just got to be patient and know that the front office is working hard to get these things done. And they obviously, if we see these holes in the squad, they are 100% aware, and they're working on it. So I imagine, Luis, that we're going to get, I would say, probably 2 or 3 more before the window shuts. Like
Yeah,
you said, potentially a left back. I've got We talked about the depth chart on
a midfielder for sure.
Yeah, we talked about the depth chart on Monday's episode. So if you haven't watched that, go check that out. We did that in detail, but really like left back, D mid, striker are the three places that we feel between us. Like I think we could survive without any of those, but would I like it? Not really. I think left back for me is the number one. If you said you could have one more signing, Luis, I would go left back. Because I just really feel like we don't have anybody else if Rafa gets injured and who can be a left-sided, left-footed left back. What about you? You're like strikers, the one that you would really like.
Well, honestly, D mid.
Well, D mid. Sorry, I'm talking about this as assuming that Atuesta gets done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Atuesta goes through,
assuming Atuesta gets done, another D mid on top of that.
Yeah. So if Atuesta goes through, I think we still need a striker and a left back for sure. But if we let me pick left back or a striker, I will go for left back as well because we truly need depth there. Not to knock on Mikey Holiday, knock on any and Kyle Smith and things like that. But I feel like we need a player that can play multiple positions, that it's a straight left back. Now, why? Because up top, Duncan's gonna probably start the season now. I mean, he's done the whole entire preseason. I think he's fully healed. The club obviously not saying anything. I don't expect him to, but he's in every single video. He's laughing, he's with the shirt off, cracking jokes and things like that. So he seems pretty within the group. So you got now Ramiro and Duncan back, possibly a third stringer, maybe Muriel, or even Martin can fill that spot. You know what I mean? So I think we can work around the striker situation here.
Or Rodriguez or Pasalic
or Rodriguez or Pasalic even.
Or Oeda's played there. Like there's a lot of other striker options.
Now there's a kid that's killing it in preseason, and I've heard this from a lot of club sources. And I want to tell everybody that's watching right now, it's Thomas Freeman. I mean, this kid is flying. They played
Alex
today.
Freeman. You're getting your kids mixed up. Thomas Williams and Alex Freeman.
Yeah, Alex Freeman. Sorry, Thomas Freeman. Yeah, like I'm making fusion.
Yeah, I saw you.
Right? They do the fusion dance. No. So so Alex Freeman scored today. They had a preseason scrimmage against Atlanta United. Now, the club hasn't said who won the scrimmage. I would like to. I don't know.
I didn't see no highlights of an Atlanta goal.
I don't know why.
Maybe there's if you go on Atlanta's Twitter, they have their goal, but I don't.
But why can't you just say who won?
The scrimmage thing, it's like they pre-agree and they basically just say like, we're gonna play each other. No one's gonna talk about it. No one's gonna tweet about it, but we're gonna play each other. There'll be a result, but we won't disclose the result. Neither will you. But there was a result. Like they didn't just play and it was like, of course. What was the score? Nobody knows. Like they know the score.
Atlanta play against Orlando, and the only goal for the Lions was Alex Freeman and he's been starting in these preseason games too as a back. So let's watch real quick. Another thing is, I do want to say Utaro has been playing on both flanks. That's what they've told me. So he's been playing right, he's been playing left.
Look, you gotta do it!
Well done, Lucky. Fuck me, Ronnie, I need help, bro.
I need help, bro. Oh, look at that. Man, look at Utaro taking players on, man. Look at that.
Golazo.
That's Gray Curler by Rafa Santos, which he has as a custom. He has us used to these type of curlers, and then Thomas and then Alex Freeman with a header.
Look at Daggy, man. Daggy looks
Yeah, look
bright.
at Daggy,
Good,
bro.
good free kick here.
Ooh. Was that Guzan? Was that Guzan?
That was Daggy. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
but that was Guzan too. Look.
Oh yeah, Guzan and goal. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was first team versus first team.
Yeah.
Miles Robinson out there.
All right, Alex. I saw you scored a goal in the scrimmage today. Just kind of walk us through the goal.
It was basically me and Ivancho switching.
Ivancho.
Gula was out wide. It put me in the pocket, and it was a little switch. Long ball to the left side of Utaro. His shot got blocked, and then Rafa had the end. And Rafa's crosses have been, I mean, they're one of the best in the league, I think. And it was
He
just
even
a cross back
describes
post,
the
and I was
game
able to
well.
time to jump directly at the
He's
right
really
time.
good,
and be able
man.
to just head it down in the right corner, and then that's the goal.
First scrimmage since coming back from Mexico camp last week. Just how do you feel the guys played today?
I feel the guys played good. I feel like we played our game, and I feel like at the end of the day, preseason, that's what we're here to do, is to perfect our game and just be able to perfect us keeping the ball, making runs to behind 1v1s. To perfect that, I think that's what all preseason is for, and I feel like that's what we did today.
Now here he mentions how good they are physically.
Overall, how do you think? How far along do you think you guys are in being ready for the home opener at the end of February here?
I think we're ready. I think the preseason games have shown that, and I think the work we've put in training also shows that. Fitness-wise, I think we're all ready. I mean, I feel like we've made all the fitness requirements that we needed. And on the ball-wise, I mean, I think we've gotten better than last season. I mean, I feel like we're all more comfortable with each other, and we have more connections with each other. And I feel like, yeah, I think February 22nd.
Yeah, they'll be ready. I love the confidence, dude. He's my favorite. He's my new favorite player, bro. I'm telling you.
You're all about the Alex Freeman,
bro.
man.
He's gonna be one of the best backs we've had.
He's going to be a super sub at the beginning of the season, I think. You know, coming on to the 60th, 70th minute, you know, really causing problems. Maybe they'll move Dagger around, you know, somewhere else, or take him off and give Alex some time out on that right side. You know, he did it a bit last season, so it looks like he's ready to do it a lot more this season. I checked out Atlanta's Twitter feed. They don't. All they have is images of them getting off the bus in Florida. So
yeah. So maybe
they didn't want to
like
post anything about the scrimmage. They didn't post anything about the
we
scrimmage.
maybe won.
I'm just saying that, you know, if they'd have scored a goal, they probably would have put that up on. But I don't think they.
Right.
Or maybe we just don't. We don't care. We're gonna post everything. We're like, whatever. Screw your scrimmage. Anybody.
We have some comments and then we'll continue.
Please go.
Donnie Moore, kind of funny how they tell us to be patient when they're the ones that saw our best player, all-time scorer. Which, bro, it has to happen, man. I mean, he was either now or never. I mean, he was never going to be worth $13 million. I'm sorry I'm saying this, but if he waited maybe a season in which he peaked or scored less than 10 goals, he was not going to be worth 12 million. So it was the time to sell at that point. I think the club had no choice. And I mean, I get it, but at the same time, the standard is high. We don't want to revert back. I'm sure. And last season was the same way. No one wants to revert back. And we made it to the Eastern Conference Championship. Jamie Whitmore, Merrim signing was horrible. Yeah, Merrim signing was pretty bad. Sasha question, yeah. Emmanuel Coleman. I'm excited because
a lot of these guys were not here when our current. You can't be blaming like
this is Roches, bro. Come on,
you're going too far back here. Like you can only really, you know, the guys that Boozy and Ricardo signed under their time. Yes, you can talk to them about that, but like these guys were like Adrian signed friggin' Joseph Coleman. I don't know, So we didn't even have a GM back then, or if we did, they were so bad I don't even remember who it was. So yeah, that first MLS team, man, we come a long way from that first MLS team. I'll tell you right now. So,
Yeah, Donnie
yeah,
Moore. I'm hopeful, but also looking for more big wins on the field instead of on the balance sheet.
yeah.
All of those were the prior regime before Musi and Ricardo and our scouts, though, says Daniel Cluley. Thank you. Haven't really had a bad signing since Musi. There you go. Wow, Justin Merrim. I thought I forgot about him forever. Thank you, says Donnie Moore. This is glad I can remind you about Merrim, says Jamie Whitmore. Yeah, Merrim even getting a fight with people, man. Crazy. Evander, says Daniel Cluley. Hopefully. I don't know. It seems
No.
like he's gonna be staying in Portland.
No, he's going to Columbus for sure, I think. I think now Cucho's gone, it's like they want Evander,
Yeah.
and they'll pay. So
Should we, Jeffrey? Should we be getting excited this season by the current squad depth?
I mean, I think that it's like this similar, like the squad depth at the bottom of the like we've lost some guys, but I don't really think we've lost anybody that was, outside of Facu that was like a really good squad depth player. Maybe Mason really would be the only one that I was like, oh, that's kind of sucky that Mason's gone. He was a good backup. But I'm not really worried. I don't think it's a problem. I think the big one was getting the Facu replacement. The club has said that they want to use this as like a reload year, not like a full rebuild year. And so we know the team we have. I think the Wilder injury has not helped that, of course. Like they didn't want to replace Wilder this window, I'm sure, but we held on to Cesar and then Wilder got injured, and now we have to find another starting D-mid anyway. So I think as much as they can retain most of the team and keep the same ethos and aesthetic and idea and the same, like similar tactics, I imagine, from Oscar, I think is the plan. And in that way, we can have some consistency going into the beginning of the season and hopefully start well, because, I totally agree. And I think there were some good comments there from Donnie. I think, he makes some good points. But overall, I think we're in a pretty good place. And I think that as long as we go into this season and show more consistency and get more home wins and just
I
not
agree.
be so hot and cold, then I think we're going to end up, we could easily end up in a top 6 or a top 4 position again if we just produce a bit more consistency.
Yep. Is Orlando cooking? Well, I mean, I agree with what John said. I feel like I'm not gonna compare myself to any other market. I think we're our own market, and I think we've done pretty well the past few seasons for the small market that we are. Now, yeah, spending $150 million does not guarantee you a championship either. So you can spend $150 million and be a crappy club, and or botched it in the playoffs against Atlanta. You know what I mean? It could happen. Also, but I do see and I do understand the fans when they say they want the club, the people that own the club, to spend more money on players and things like that. But they have a way of doing things right now. As to they have a culture. They're trying to build a culture here as well now, and I feel like it's a solid one. Now there's going to be more additions probably that are probably not going to get preseason time, but I'm excited for what's coming. Now, one thing you're never going to hear me is to throw away the season before it even starts. And trust me, I've heard it. I've heard it. I've read it too. It's crazy. I mean, solid signings, but we still need depth. Cartagena injury is pretty devastating. It's a big question. Yeah, I completely agree. I think, yeah, nasty dagger. Let's go Freeman. Hopefully we have a decent enough start of the season. We can work on incorporating our bench more, says M. Mosquera. Thank you so much, Mr. M. GM Nikki Budd says D. Stream Jesus. What's good, John? John, can I get a little score prediction for scrimmage game, Bud?
When is the
What
next scrimmage
from
game?
Montreal?
I don't even. Is it Montreal? When do they play the next scrimmage game? In a
I
few days?
believe it's
Well, I think we won 1-0 against Atlanta. That's not really a prediction, though. That's a guess of what happened. I don't know. I have to check the thing and see who we're
so we're
playing next.
looking
I haven't
at
looked.
preseason scrimmage is close. It's close for media, I heard, because media
Yeah,
cannot go in there.
no
But
one
season
goes.
pass holders can, and it's kickoff at 6 Saturday, this Saturday.
Oh, that's the one for season ticket members. Yes, I will be going to that on Saturday.
Well, talking about Montreal, I think it's time to
A prediction on that one, Luis. What
show
do you
my
think?
trash can.
The Club of Foot trash
Le
can.
trash.
Le
Right
trash
here.
can.
There you
Oh
go.
man,
Yeah, I actually have
they
trash inside.
they're they've just sold guys, right? I mean, I think they brought a few guys in, but yeah, I would say I think it's going to be the same as last year. When remember last year we beat New England Revolution like 3-1 in that Society 21 game in
Yeah.
preseason. I think it's going to be the same. I think we're going to see like a 3-0 or a 3-1 pasting of Montreal, who I don't think are. The East is all getting better, and I've heard so much news around all of the league and everything that's been happening, and specifically the East. But the Montreal news has been pretty light, really, bro. They're not doing a lot, and I think they're in the danger of being down the bottom end of the league again. If they can, they got to figure it out. But they will do. They're that new. It's Nancy too. It's the guy that moved from Crew to go run Montreal. So let's see. That sometimes causes us problems the way they play, but I don't think they're going to be that great. So I think a nice win for us on Saturday.
Let's see here. Legacy Orchestra Collective. Not terrible, but I would still like a Tuesta. I agree with you. Joshua Tall. That's promising to hear. To be patient. More signings to come. There you go. Who do you think is our best player as of now? I think Martin Ojeda.
I mean, that's so hard to say because we got to see
Or Ramiro
how
Enrique.
we got to see how Pasalic does in in MLS. Like it's so like if you think about when Ojeda first arrived,
Yeah,
he
was
did not
cold.
make a big impact, right, at all. So it really wasn't until like the beginning of year 2 that like in the mid year 2 last year that we really saw what Ojeda could be for this team. So I think Pasalic, I hope he hits the ground running. He kind of has to for us to have a good year this year. But he might need a season to bed into MLS, Luis. And I think if that's the case, then it's not the end of the world. Like that's okay. I would love him to hit the ground running, but sometimes we see in MLS these guys come in and struggle in their first year, but they're able to do much better in their second year.
I hope, and I'm 80-20 on this.
Could be Nico Rodriguez too. We don't even know.
Yeah,
He might be awesome.
Like, I feel both of them are going to break out, and I think it's going to be tough for Oscar to. Because look, Nico Rodriguez has that unpredictability that kind of it made Ivan Angulo better, because no one knew how to take on Angulo, and same with Pasalic. No one knows how to take on Pasalic. You only have those videos that the club got, where the videos we put on our YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago. It's the same video. So the unpredictability that Orlando is going to have for this season, at least, it's for these new signings, unless people I think have enough film on Atuesta. But when it comes to our attack, people are going to figure out Angulo. People are going to figure out Dagger. Well, Duncan McGuire and Ramiro. But there's going to be low or any footage on Pasalic and Nico. So I'm hoping that they are immediate impact players. My expectation is certainly a win against Montreal, even if it's 2-1. I want to see Yutaro Sukata score. I'm sure he'll have minutes. And you know, I want Orlando to have a great preseason, have those kids ready to step up whenever they're needed, because we're gonna need them. I mean, Shaq, Alex, Thomas, Utaro, Colin Gusky, all of them are gonna step up. So, yeah. ATL by far probably a favorite, says Daniel, for best team in the. I like Austin
Also made some moves. I mean, there's lots happening.
Galaxy as well.
We're gonna do a preseason prediction episodes the week before the season starts. So we'll definitely talk about what we think around the East and around the league in general on that one for sure, because it's gonna be interesting to see whatever people have done. But like you said earlier, Reese, right now it just matters what we've done, and I think Pasalic is going to be a great addition, and I'm excited. Hopefully, he can be a real dangerous player for us, because that's what we need. We need him to hit the ground running. So I want to thank everybody that was here today. Appreciate all of you all in the comments. You guys have been awesome. We did this as a sort of random one-off today because, of course, big news. This is probably our biggest signing of the window, Luis, or close to, or so we wanted to come on live and talk with all of you and get all of your input and all of your comments. So thank you to all of you that have been here. Stream Jesus, Joshua Tall, Daniel, Jeffrey, Donnie, Jamie, all of you guys. Thank you. Air Vega. You guys are awesome. If you are listening later, you can go ahead and drop us a comment, whether that's on YouTube, and we will reply to you, get back to you, or you can do it on X as well afterwards, any of the social media platforms, and we will always happily interact with you and get back with you on those as well. So thank you to everybody who's watching. Please drop a like on the YouTube video if you're watching there for us, and if you're watching on X, drop a like and repost it so more people can find it. That would be very helpful. Of course, you can always follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, all those usual places, as well as listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. In about 4 minutes, Luis, the episode that we recorded earlier in the week with designated players, which is a preview all about sort of deep dive on Orlando City, will be going live at 7 o'clock.
Cool.
So if you want more content, you can go check us out over there. We're doing our rounds around the MLS podcast. We've done designated players. We've done designated pundits. We're going to be doing more coming up as well. So check us out. If you need more Orlando City content, we are out there making it with other platforms and on their channels as well. So thank you, everybody. Luis, you got anything else to say?
Yeah, we're going to have yeah, so we have the Mario Pasalic interview uploaded in the YouTube channel. We also have his first words as a Lion. We also have at 7:30. There's also going to be a short that's going to be uploaded with the Alex Freeman interview of today for the actual pre-scrimmage for the scrimmage against Atlanta, where he kind of talks a little more. Check it out. Drop us your comments and leave us a thumbs up. And thank you guys for your support. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
For sure. And if you haven't checked out any of our Pride stuff yet, go ahead and check that out. They made lots of moves there. We just did an episode talking all about their new Zambian player, Priska Chalifa. So that was really interesting. Lots happening on the Pride side as well. LPO always here trying to give you guys as much content as you could possibly get. We're sticking to our Mondays for sure, but in the off season, if stuff like this happens, we're always going to go live. So check us out. If there's big news, for sure, we will be there. Thank you to all of you once again. You guys are awesome. And always, vamos,
Orlando.
Orlando.
Yep.